Hey everyone, it's Ryan with This Smart House, and on today's episode, we're going to look at another common aspect used by most homeowners that have a smart home, and that's a smart garage door controller. Now these come in a couple different flavors. I have one of the built-in MyQ garage door openers where all the smarts are actually in the garage door opener. The disadvantage to this is you have to replace your entire opener, and this could be hundreds of dollars plus hundreds of dollars of install costs. You can also buy retrofit kits like the MyQ retrofit kit, or you can even do a DIY solution involving a dry contact system. But those require additional hardware like hubs for Z-Way and Zigbee. Plus you have to have configuration knowledge. So what the market really needs right now is a simple and easy to use solution to adding smarts to your existing garage door. So on today's episode, we're gonna take a look at the new Wyze Garage Door Controller that just came out a few weeks ago. So we're gonna look at what comes in the box, features and how the system works, and how to get it installed and set up in your home. So let's go. So let's take a look. All right, so now let's look at what comes in the box. Now there's actually two different versions of this kit. The one here I have is the full kit, including the camera, or you can buy just the controller and its related accessories. Now one thing to note is a Wyze version 3 camera is required no matter what you do, because the system uses that camera to act as the bridge to the cloud for control and also to provide power to the controller. Now the other reason why you have a camera is because that's how it senses whether the door is open or closed. There's no additional tilt sensor or contact sensor required because it actually uses the camera to do that. And we'll see how here in just a minute. All right, so let's go ahead and dump out the box and see what comes with it. We have a version 3 camera, like we talked about before, and the garage door controller module. Now one thing is you always get one of these little kits that comes with every device that has instructions in it. Don't throw this away, because when you open it up, it actually contains a couple of important things. Obviously you've got a quick start guide, but in addition, you got a warning sticker, which you should place on the door to warn people if they're unfamiliar with their garage that your door could open and close automatically without a person standing around it. But the most important bit is a QR code. Now, this QR code is super important because you adhere this to the inside of your garage door, so that way the camera can tell if the door is open or closed. And I assume this works by if it can spot this QR code in the frame, then it knows the garage door is closed. If it can't see this, then the garage door is open. So it's a pretty clever way of not having to need any additional sensors. You just need to have the camera do the processing for that function. Now, in this last box is the power brick and the associated cabling that's required, along with all the accessories required for the camera. So again, like most version 3 cameras, it comes with a AC to USB adapter to power the whole system, a 6-foot flat USB micro to USB-A cable. It also comes with this little pigtail cable. Now, this cable is important because there's only one cable on the back of the camera. And so the way this works is you take the pigtail off the back of the camera, connect it to the port marked connect to the camera, which is right here. Then you connect the other end, which says connect to controller, to the front side of the garage door controller. And then this female port right here is where you connect the power cable. So that way you power both items together at the same time. Now you notice a cable hanging off the end of the controller. We'll get to this one later. This is how you're controlling your garage door with the controller. And of course, they give you some cable management and the flat washer that you can use to stick onto a non-metallic garage door opener. If you have a metal I-beam running across your garage or a metal housing, you can just stick this right on there without having to apply anything extra. All right, so there's everything that comes in the box. So let's talk about how this system actually works. Now, the quick start guide doesn't have a lot of details in it about compatibility. That's why you need to make sure you go to the URL here below before you purchase one of these to make sure this system is compatible with your garage door opener. Now the reason that is, it may have a more advanced remote that's attached to the wall in your garage door. If you're like me and you have a garage door that has a little screen on it where you can make setting changes, this is not going to work for you because it doesn't actually use the old dry contact method to open and close a garage door. And we'll see here in a little bit how to test to make sure yours will work. So how this works is these two wires connect to the same spot on the back of your garage door opener that the button does in your garage. It's just a physical connection that shorts those two connections together and makes the door think that you've pressed the button. So you'll actually wire this up in parallel with the existing button in your garage. There we go. We've seen what's in the box. We've seen how the system works. Let's go to my brother-in-law's house and I'll show you how to install one of these systems. All right, so we can see this is an older style garage door opener. To get to the wires, we need to open up the access hatch, which on most garage door openers are under where you can replace the light bulb. So you can take this hatch down and for easy use most of the times. So again, you want to make sure you cross-reference the model number of the garage door opener with the Wyze website to make sure this is compatible with your system. So the first thing we do is go ahead and plug in and power up the Wyze devices. So obviously the first step necessary is to go ahead and connect the Wyze gear to power. So in this case, there's already a power extension strip up here. So it's connected. Let's go ahead and just let it dangle down while we finish up the install. All right, now that we've sourced power for the Wyze gear, let's go ahead and get it set up in the app. So we'll go to Add Device, Cameras, Wyze Garage Door Controller, because it is connected to the Wyze version 3 camera. So I know it's compatible, so we'll go ahead and hit Next. There's a warning, Next. Good Wi-Fi signal strength. I'm already connected to it, so I know it's good. All right, we're gonna set it up with a bundled Wyze version 3 because it came with one. Now you can set this up with an existing camera, so if you already have one in the garage, you don't have to go through the full setup process for the camera since it's just an accessory. But since this is a brand new camera, we're gonna go through the full process setup. All right, let me worry about that right now. So it's already plugged in. Let's verify. Yep, the light is flashing red on the front of the device. Make sure you pull the base station away from the bottom of the camera so you can get access to the button and press the setup button on the bottom here.
Ready to connect.
Now it says it's ready to connect. We'll hit next, allow location, and then it's gonna ask for the Wi-Fi information, which I've got all blurred out here. All right, so then,
Ready to connect.
so now it's ready to connect. We'll go ahead and scan the QR code that's given to us.
QR code scanned. Please wait.
We heard QR code scan, so we'll hit next. And now it's gonna go ahead and connect itself to the Wi-Fi. So we'll come back when it's finished connecting and finished setup. Now setup's complete, let's get it configured. So we'll call this one Garage 1, continue. Self-monitoring, next. All right, so now that we have our camera successfully connected to the Wi-Fi and the Wyze app has confirmed that it can see the controller, then that means we're ready to install. So for now, we're gonna go ahead and just stick it dead here underneath and we can always move it later if we need to. So for this next step, we're gonna need our 3M adhesive in the circle pattern and the washer. Before we get everything installed, let's make sure this actually is gonna work for this particular garage door opener. So to do that, we need to take a small piece of wire, and if you don't have one, you can take the twist tie that came with one of the cables, pull the ends off of them, and use them to short out the contact on the side of the garage door opener. And there we go, that was successful. So we know that our garage door opener is compatible with this system. All right, so these are push-in DIN style pins. So there's a little release right up here on top that you can press in to release the wire out. Now you'll notice there's a red and a black wire. Now it doesn't really matter which one's which because this is a closed contact system. This really just indicates which wire is which. It really doesn't matter because we're just closing the contacts together. So just pick one and shut, and in this case, I'm gonna shove the wire in with the other color wire so they both get pressed in and locked in with that clamp at the same time. So now everything's connected. We've got the camera placed. We've got the system set up. We still haven't mounted the controller yet, but we'll do that here in a minute. So here we go. Now we've got a good picture here in the app, but we'll notice it's upside down. So to fix that, all we have to do is click on the gear icon, go to advanced settings and say rotate image 180 degrees. Now when we come back in, it's in the proper orientation. All right, so as far as mounting options go, it comes with this double-sided piece of foam tape meant specifically for the garage door control unit. Now one thing to know is make sure all your wires can run in even with the dome put back on your light. But first we'll go ahead and adhere the double-sided foam tape to the controller. Now you want to make sure that you can see this controller because it actually has a strobe light on here to indicate when the door closes. So when you go to close the door, it's actually going to beep at you and flash this light for safety. So that's a very good add-on and you want to make sure it's visible. So you want to either mount it to the side or underneath next to the camera. Now also included are some cable clips that you want to use to clean up the wiring so it doesn't dangle down like this. Now make sure you test this setup before you permanently attach everything just in case there's interference. This opener has an external antenna, so I'm not as worried about it, but sometimes the antennas can be interfered with. So if you do run into range problems, relocate the camera and the control unit somewhere else. That way you don't have any interference with your unit. So last step before we calibrate everything is let's go ahead and put the cover back on. Now that we've got the kit installed and everything buttoned up, let's test it in the app, make sure it's working. When we go ahead and connect into the app, we're gonna be prompted to calibrate the door. So go ahead and click calibrate. So angle looks good, faces the garage door. We're gonna wanna probably put our QR code right here on the door so it's easily readable by the system. So I'll go ahead and stick that on there now because it's above my head. So now we're gonna go ahead and close the garage door to make sure this works. We gotta tick the box that says the garage door is now fully closed. All right, now that we've set that up, let's go ahead and click the button to test to make sure it opens the door. And there we go, it's able to open the door without a problem. All right, so now in the app, we'll go ahead and say the door is open. And now we're gonna test it by closing the door. Now one thing you will notice is that this light up here will flash and it will emit a beeping sound when the door goes to close. The light's flashing and it's giving you a countdown to close the door. So now the door is closing. Now I'll click doors closed and calibration successful. Let's open the garage door so we can see myself. And there we have it. Now the garage door is completely controllable within the Wyze app And we can now use the camera to check the status to make sure the door is open or closed and see if anybody comes in or out of it. Now, if you want to use any of the advanced features like person or package detection, make sure you subscribe to the Cam Plus subscription. And if you want to have long-term storage locally, you can insert an SD card into the camera and use that to continuously record even when the door is closed or open. There you go, setup's all complete. All right, real quick before we're done, I want to show you a couple of cool features that's in the app. If you go into accessories, garage door controller, you can set a schedule. So if you want the garage door to open or close at a specific time, I like having this where my garage doors at 10 o'clock at night automatically shut, just in case I forget them to leave them open. You can also look at the history and see when the door is open and closed. You can go through and change a notification pattern. If you want to know every time the garage door is open and closed, you can be notified if the garage door is open or closed, or when the garage door is opened, and also if it's been remained open for more than 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, which is really nice safety feature just in case you forget the garage door when you leave to go get groceries. Here's a quick look at what's available in the application for the Wyze Garage Door Controller. All right, so there you go. So now you know how the Wyze Garage Door Opener Controller works, how to get it installed, and if it's gonna work for your particular setup. Now, I wanna thank Wyze for sending me this product to go ahead and take a look at and review. And if you're interested in picking one of these up, I've got links to everything in the description below. Thanks for making it to this far in the video. If you did find some usage out of the video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in my other videos on Wyze products, click on this playlist right here. And if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to our channel by clicking this logo right here. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next video.